Hi, Mina here with Silk and Purple. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I want to discuss with you just homeschooling, the life of a homeschooler, kind of what we do throughout our typical day, and really the ebbing and flowing of homeschool life. So many people with the pandemic happening right now find themselves homeschooling and they totally didn't intend to. When I first started having children, I thought about the idea of homeschooling, but when you're a first time mom, like just having babies and surviving through the baby years is enough. So I had ideally wanted to homeschool, but kind of felt the pressures of family and society around me and enrolled my older son into kindergarten, which honestly I was grateful for because it made my priorities get put in the order that they needed to be. I pulled him out halfway through, and really that was like, we had so many absences as well. Like he didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to make him. And then he loves homeschool because he's like, oh yeah, I remember what it's like sitting in a classroom for, 6-7 hours a day. And he's a little boy that just wants to go run through the jungle and play and be wild and free. So after I pulled him out, my younger son was only 4 at the time. So I had a 4 and a 5-year-old. My older son was just about to be 6. We just really dove into, I had ordered in My Father's World curriculum and all the books. I had never done research on living books, just read stories, and we did artwork, and we just played, and I let them just really recapture the joy of being a child and that curiosity and wonder. And then for that next year, first grade, I pushed him way too hard. And my younger son was still pre-K at that time, kind of according to our state level, and I could tell he just was really not going to be, other than story time, getting him to like trace letters was even a big thing, so I wasn't going to push him. And I had started really researching out at that point Charlotte Mason education and was in love with the philosophy. However, I pushed us into more of a traditional approach. I had ordered The Good and the Beautiful because I thought, oh, it's good, it's beautiful, yay. You can check out one of my reviews on the channel of The Good and the Beautiful LA, how it didn't work for our family. And then we do Right Start Math. I'm a big fan of that curriculum. I'll have a review on that another time as well. But what homeschooling has really taught me as the mother is to recognize it's like a constant dialogue between you and your children. So you could think something's absolutely perfect and right and working, and it fits every single checkbox of your priorities as a homeschool mom and all these ideologies that you have. And I love, it's like, don't get so attached to a philosophy that then you're not able to be open to what is right for that child. I really personally, for me, kind of the philosophy of more of like a classical education mixed with a Charlotte Mason kind of, I'm just super eclectic in everything. I can't help it. But I really wanted to bring in more of that classical approach and kind of traditional approach into our home. However, it just does not work with my children, like at all. I mean, there's nothing more discouraging than, seriously, it's like you go through the lesson, everything's great, and then the next day, it's like, what do you mean you don't know the letter A and how it sounds? Like you're introducing it for the very first time. 100 days later, you're like, are you kidding me? Then your frustration starts to go up there, and you just, you sit there, okay, I'm going to be a good teacher. I'm not a teacher, I'm a mother. I do have a bachelor education. I love to self-learn. However, like I would never choose early education like as a career choice. Props to all the women out there who can do that and maintain that patience level, because teaching children how to read and all their number recognition and just that really foundation of learning, it really requires patience, because there's only so much you can force a child to learn. Some kids naturally, they just like, I'm always mind boggled at the mom who's like, oh yeah, like my daughter just started to read. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like she just started to read a book one day, where my son, it has been years of encouraging, and kind of we had to jackhammer up the foundation of his sight kind of memorization method of phonics, and then move on to more the decoding part. And now just at 8, he's finally starting to be at grade level where he should be, and not getting, oh, I can't do that. And a lot of that's my fault. And that's another thing with homeschool life. You just recognize, like, oh, today I just don't want to put my issues on my children. And in that, it's such a wonderful opportunity for growth and to really exemplify Christ's mercy in the home. He pours forth grace into our lives, and then we too can extend grace in the family unit. So mostly homeschooled, it's a lifestyle, and that's why I consider myself eclectic, because I'm not going to go and, oh, we're staunch Charlotte Mason. I love the philosophy. We do, a lot of hymns, poetry, love living books. We are very literature based. However, we actually read more stories than she would recommend. And that's kind of where I had to move away from Charlotte Mason and just go into eclectic, because how can you say no to your 6-year-old boy who says, no, I want to read more, I want to read more. It's like, oh, nope, this is the only chapter you get for today, or the only paragraph. It's like, sometimes we'll read an entire chapter book in one afternoon just because we want to see how it ends. It's so exciting. That's my favorite part about homeschooling, is read aloud time. And I never read books like that when I was a child. And so to just dive into all these incredible books, and also I wasn't raised really in a Christian home. So for me, it's like I'm getting to learn this entire, whole Christian worldview of education. And I absolutely love it. So I just encourage you, wherever you're at in your homeschooling journey, some days it's tough, and you're like, I've been there. You get to the point where you're threatening, I'm going to put you in public school, And then I love it how my son will come back at me, Mom, that would not make Jesus happy. It's not going to be a good environment for me. They don't even pray in the morning. And I'll be like, no, you're absolutely right. So, it's a couple year journey in those first few years. Like, we're going to be, we're ending 2nd grade and kindergarten with my younger one. And last year we kind of went all the way through. We took a month off in the summer. This year I'm ready. I want to do like a full 2-month summer if can. And it's taken that much time to really establish that sweet rhythm routine. I'm a really big fan of just living books. That's what it's down to. And so I'm still actually kind of researching out what exact curriculum I'll use next year. So far, like this last year, I was a curriculum junkie, and I am not kidding you. I bought curriculums we haven't even used. Not okay. Like, so not okay. I really am going more towards unit studies, or just debating, like, really cutting it back and doing super simple. Charlotte Mason for a year. There's a great couple websites that have free curriculum. Ambleside Online is one of them. Another one is, I'll put the link below. The name's escaping me right now, but it's really sweet and I like it, and it's simple and to the point. So anyways, wherever you're at on your homeschool journey, don't quit. Continue. Take a deep breath. If you have to, say, okay, we're done with lessons for the day. Oh, and then also, we're a Suzuki family. So if you're not familiar with the Suzuki method, I love it, but it's like, it's an extra, like if you were to like think of a bowl of ice cream as a bowl of stress to your brain of like homeschooling, like that's where you have to think about what type of philosophy, what type of curriculum am I choosing, and does this work for me? Because you might think, oh, I love this. This is ideal. But what I did was I literally picked every single option that like mom has to be 120% present. The math curriculum, the reading curriculum, the phonics curriculum, the music education, our read alouds. Like there was, unless they were free playing in the jungle, there was not an ounce of independent study. And so that's where we're switching to like, no, you need to be learning how to learn independently on your own, because that's life. I mean, we don't have somebody there holding our hand, cheering us on. You can do it. Let's get through this next phase of life. That would be awesome. But the last time I checked, a life coach costs money, and we can't all afford one of those. So, and it's not like she's going to move into your house and be alongside of you, cheering you on. So anyways, pick what's right. Think of like, these are the questions I would ask like when you're looking at ordering curriculum or looking at a philosophy. Is this independent, or does this require me? And what are you wanting? Like, do you want your math curriculum to be independent, or do you want to kind of micromanage that and be along with your child? Same thing with reading or language arts, phonics. Do you want them to be able to have their independent learning, or do you want it to be, yes, I want to be very much with you? Science, let's just not even go there. That's another video. I mean, to me, science is just, yeah, I know some people love it. My younger son loves it. And I'm like, why? I bought all these science kits because that's all he wants to do. And I'm like, that's a whole other video. We'll go there another time. But there's a lot of great books and documentaries. So science for the day, Nature Channel, there we go. All done. Things to keep in mind. What are your children interested in? Do you want to literally decide everything for them? Or do you want to also allow them to have student-led interest? They really enjoy this. Okay, order a whole bunch of books on that. Read them. Do crafts, whatever. If your children are older, you can obviously have research papers, notebooking exercises, all those good, fun things. But if you're still in the early education years, just reading, doing a nice Pinterest craft, talking about it, getting excited about it, that's going to be their student-led interest. And also, really, like, what are your priorities in life? And that's kind of where, in all things in our life, we have to look at, is this producing kind of my end goal? So in my homeschool, and I've heard other homeschool moms, I found a woman, and she's like, you have to have a mission statement for your homeschool, or else there will be days that you want to quit and you won't push forward. What is it? I still don't have one actually written out, but I do go over it in my head quite frequently and journal about it from time to time. And my end goal, if I can raise my boys to always fear the Lord and to walk within his way, that's my end goal. It's not for them to go to college. It's not for them to, I'm not going to push them into like, oh, you have to be a pastor or a missionary. No, I want them to figure out so early on, I know God called me to do this, Mom, in my life, and this is what I want, to just be so in love with the Lord and his way and his word, and to soak up in that. And so oftentimes, if I'm reading a book, and I give such a credit out to all those people who like pre-read books before they read with their kids. Maybe that will be me one day. As of right now, not so much. But if it's like totally against, then we're just constantly having all these apologetics courses. So, like my boys, like they'll even chime in, that's not true. And I'm like, exactly. Oh, he has a bad attitude. Jesus wouldn't like that. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So, it's dialogue, and you have that. However, it's like other people, they would want to shelter their children from that. And I completely respect that. Because I'm raising boys, it's totally different. Like I always think about, if I had a daughter, how it would be, I would be raising her completely different than I'm raising my sons. So, things to keep in mind with that as well. What's your end result? And what's going to get you to that? If you want to have that full day of like lesson after lesson after lesson, or do you want to just have simple and like we're done by lunchtime and we only officially school 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah. Good chatting. I could keep going, but I'll stop. Enjoy your day. Happy homeschooling.